if you want to win at sports betting, there's only one way to win, and this is called plus EV. Okay, you need to find value bets on the market. So what is a value bet? This is very simple. When bookmakers release the odds, those are basically the prices on the betting market. Okay, so if they say Boston Red Sox minus 120, minus 120 is the price that you're paying. If you use decimal odds, let's say Barcelona 1.70, 1.70 is the price, because if you bet 100 American dollars, you get 70 American dollars. If the odds would be different, 1.80 or 1.90, for the same thing, you pay more or you get less or more profit. Okay, so this is the most important thing. And the question is this price fair, or if this is underrated price or overrated? And this is the question you will always ask. And when you have, for example, Boston Red Sox at plus 120 or Barcelona at 2.20, and you know that they should have 50% of chance to win this game, you will have a value. Okay, so you always want to pay for something that is worth more. Okay, I will give you a couple of examples. Let's say you bet Boston minus 120 when you know that they have 50% of chance, the odds should be plus 100. Or let's say you bet Barcelona. If you use Barcelona, if you use decimal odd, let's say 2.30, if you know they have 50% of chance to win this game. Okay, because you get more than you would expect, and this is plus EV. Okay, so the next question is how to find these plus EV bets, right? So how to find this, how to find plus EV, right? There are two paths to do this. Okay, first, you can use market and other people's edge. Okay, you can write other people's edge, or you can create your own edge. Okay, so write or mimic someone else edge, or create on your own edge. In other words, when you will see Boston minus 120, you must know if this should be minus 150 or let's say plus 110. And based on this, you decide what you will bet. And to do this, you can write someone else's edge or create your own edge. So how to write someone else's edge? What bettors do? They simply compare different bookmakers, for example, Pinnacle bookmakers, and then they attack soft bookmakers. You can use steam moves, you can use arbitrage, but those are all kind of hacks, and I call them hacks. Okay, so I'll just make it like this, hacks. Okay, hacks. The good thing about hacks is that you don't need to have a skill about betting. You don't need to be a sharp bettor. You just look at the prices and use other information to find plus EV. Okay, what are these hacks? Arbitrage betting, steam moves, odds screens, right? Odds comparisons. When I was younger, I was comparing my local bookmaker with online bookmakers, and when my local bookmaker didn't move the lines, I was simply betting, and I knew this was a good bet. Okay, so that's why you see so many odds screens right now, odds screen services, because they use Pinnacle odds. For example, if Pinnacle has Boston minus 120, and then some soft bookmaker has Boston at plus 110, let's say, they know, they assume that Pinnacle has the sharpest, most efficient lines, better probabilities, and because of that discrepancy, they bet on soft bookmaker. Okay, the second thing are steam moves. For example, if at Pinnacle sharp bettors are moving the line from let's say Boston minus 120 to minus 150 immediately, and the soft bookmaker didn't move the line, you know this is a good bet. Or arbitrage betting, where you compare different odds. You bet basically on two bookmakers. If one has plus 110 on Boston. The second has also plus 100 and let's say 8 on Boston. And you know that if you bet, not on Boston, on the other team, and if you bet at one bookmaker at one team and at the second bookmaker on the second team, you know that no matter what happened, you will make a profit. Okay, so those are all hacks that many sports bettors use. The problem, of course, this is too good to be true, right? And it will not work in the long run. So there are problems. Okay, problems, pros and cons, of course. What are the problems? The problems is that bookmakers will ban you. You need to have to deal with soft bookmakers. Many bettors that I know that started with these hacks, they either stop betting or they move to creating their own edge. You can make 10, 20,000 American dollars, maybe 5,000, depends on where you bet, what kind of services that you use. But you are limited very soon, and it is not sustainable in the long run. Okay, that's why you see bettors either moving to creating their own edge or arguing about bookmakers on Twitter, and this is a problem. Okay, plus you never become a sharp bettor because those hacks are relying on bettors that are actually sharp, and in the long run you want to become sharp bettor who can actually bet at serious bookmakers. Okay, but the good thing about this is that you don't need to have a betting skill. You can use services which will track and identify these profitable opportunities for you. You don't need to put any effort. You don't need to improve. You don't need to learn about betting models, about betting. You just use this as trading tool. Okay. The new problem right now is that the lines are moving much faster right now. Bookmakers are also signing to odd screen services, and they know exactly who is betting what, and they can ban you quickly. What that means, that means that for example, you will start betting 1,000 American dollars on games, and then at some point they will limit you to 10 American dollars, or later they can even ban you and close your account, and then you're out of the game. Okay, so, and then you have, of course, the second path. Many bettors move to this path. This is where you simply create your own edge. So you make your own analysis and you calculate independently from the bookmakers your probabilities, your odds. So you use statistics, you use data, machine learning, statistical models, and you simply calculate and project your own price. So even before bookmakers open their lines, you say that Boston should be minus 150, for example, and once bookmakers open the line, you know that this is a value. Or if you bet with decimal odds, let's say you project that Barcelona should be 1.90. Once bookmakers open the line, you see that they are offering 2.30. You know this is a value, and then you bet. So creating your own edge. We are talking about all kind of sports betting models or prediction models. There are different ways how to do this with different software, with different software, with different statistics, with different knowledge, from complex to simple ones. But the goal of sports betting models is that you calculate independently your own probabilities. The bad thing about this is that you need to have some knowledge, you need to practice, you need to improve. And this is the problem. At the start, you will need to put a little bit more effort, but in the long run, once you can do this, then you have a skill for a lifetime, and it is much more sustainable. Bookmakers will welcome you. Sharp bookmakers can welcome you, and you can actually make the money you want in sports betting. Okay, but the problem is that at the start you need to put a little bit more effort. Okay. I personally use sports betting models. I use this at the start of my career. Later, I focused on sports betting models, not complex ones. I create in Excel, and then later in Google spreadsheets. I still have good results, but this was my path. So if we make a quick summary, if you want to win at sports betting, the only way to win at sports betting is to find the plus EV. Okay, so how to find the plus EV is the next question. You have two paths. You can ride someone else's edge with odds screens, with arbitrage, with steam moves, or something like that, and you can make some money. This is not long-term sustainable strategy because bookmakers will ban you quickly. And the second path is creating your own edge where you actually learn the betting skill, sports betting models, make your own analysis, unique way of betting, and then you actually become sharp bettor, because those are basically mimic those bettors. Okay, and if you're serious about sports betting, you actually want to become at some point sharp bettor. But there are different ways. Some people just use these hacks, make 5k 10k, and then they stop betting. Some people start using these hacks, create a bankroll, and then move to sports betting models uh, if they have motivation to become long-term winners. Okay, I hope I explained this in a simple way, and that's it for me today. And of course, if you want to learn how to build sports betting models on a very simple way in Google spreadsheets that actually work, visit underdogchance.com, and I wish you good luck. Thank you.